We have such sights to show you.
Get away from her, you bitch!
What a plonker!
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Hun Your Geek is Showing. I am Miss Violet Impulse, taking over from Callista for a little while she is on sabbatical. She's in the cycle, really. Joining me, as always, is some random guy, JB.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well, my sweet, and how are you?
Yeah, hanging in there.
Hanging in or
Well,
hanging out, depending where your boxer shorts are sitting, I suppose.
well, hanging out because I did the Retro Movie Zone drinking game last night.
Oh, that's a hard drinking game to finish.
It is the aim of the drink. The thing of the game is you have to take a shot every time Tony says
I've
without
never
doubt,
seen.
or without doubt.
I think if we tried to play a drinking game with Tony, much love to you, Tony, over at Retro Movie Zone. Thank you for watching the Underworld. Thank you. If we played a drinking game of Tony's never seen, I think we'd probably all end up in A&E with alcohol poisoning.
There's not enough booze in the world.
No, we'd drink a brewery dry and then some.
Yeah. But anyway, moving on.
Yes, moving swiftly on. Thank you for joining us in episode 2 of season 2, Hun Your Geek is Showing. Today, we are going to talk about, I think we can pretty much say that this is the one that kick-started the slasher franchise of the 1980s. You know, the whole slew of films that came out in the 1980s, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, literally Friday the 13th, the people who were making that said, let's just rip off Halloween and set it at a summer camp.
Yeah.
You know, they literally said that. And that's a quote from The Movies That Made Us on Netflix. Check it out. No plug. I'm not paid to do that. Just a recommendation. But
we talk about stuff we like.
Yes, we do. We're going to cover the Halloween franchise, the ins and outs, the timelines that rewrite the previous films, but not quite. But kind of, it's a convoluted timeline when it comes to the Halloween franchise. But
isn't it just?
We're going to cover it here tonight. So I'll throw it open. Guy, what was your first experience with the Halloween films?
Well, I've got a very limited experience with Violet. The problem is, I saw the first one a long time ago, and I've not been able to watch them again since because I can't fucking stream them anywhere. Motherfucking bastards.
Well, you know, this is what I was actually having a conversation with Tony about this on Facebook and on his YouTube channel in the comments section. And with a friend, I've had this conversation like a few times just recently that there's certain films that I'd like to keep on physical media because for those brief moments where they are on streaming services, they're not on there for very long. And I think it's a bit naive to think that every streaming service somewhere out there, you know, if you pay for them all, because there's a lot of them now. There's Netflix, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus.
Can't afford to fucking pay for them all.
There's more popping up all the time, different streaming services. If you constantly rely on that being your source of media, your source of entertainment, there will come a time where, okay, everything could be possibly accessed through all these things, but at the same time, there are certain films that would just be lost among the shuffle. You know, like I recently picked up Night of the Demons 2 on Blu-ray because as far as I'm aware, currently that's not streaming anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway, back to Halloween.
Yeah. Instead of renting.
Oh, yes. Tangents. Hello.
Yeah, that's what we do. So, yeah. I mean, let's face it. I think the great thing about Halloween in general is that evil is, you know, Michael Myers is evil incarnate. You can't kill evil. Evil's a hard thing to kill.
The one thing I really do love about the first film in particular is Dr. Loomis's speech about how he tried to treat Michael and take care of him and try to reach him. He said he had those eyes, the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you flash forward 20 years, and in the intro to Halloween H2O, they actually use that audio recording
Oh,
during
nice.
the intro, and it kind of sets the tone. And it's so nice to hear Donald Pleasance's voice in what essentially was meant to be the official sequel to the first two.
Well, yeah, this is the thing. This is why I've not watched many of the modern ones. Oh, it just gets a bit
Complicated to follow, and which timeline you're actually following yet.
Yeah, I don't need to have a roadmap. I just want to enjoy a film.
Yeah. See, again, this is why I think when you talk about rival franchises, Friday the 13th in particular, because as we said, it was literally a rip-off of Halloween, is from films 1 to 8, it's pretty much a straight line of events.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it doesn't tell you how many years has passed between each film in the later entries, but you can assume Jason's probably been in the water for a good year, maybe 2, sometimes maybe a little bit longer, But with Halloween, it literally goes
Yeah.
like all over the goddamn place. We'll talk about the timeline in a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a minute.
What did strike me was the use of POV shots. As a kid, I thought that was
Yes.
just that
Yeah.
was so cool. I was just like,
It really does.
what?
It puts you in the killer's shoes and it sets the tone to a certain extent. Although I do like, especially in the first one there, overuse of the word totally.
Oh, totally.
Totally this, totally that.
Totally,
Totally done with the
dude.
totally thing.
Like totally.
Yeah. But yeah, Halloween. My first experience with it was like most people. I saw it on Halloween. It was because of the film, the setting, the name, everything. It's a Halloween film through and through.
Oh, gotcha.
I think it would be one of those films that is shown every year at Halloween, probably for the next 80 to 100 fucking years. Easy. It's been around 40 years.
Yeah.
It's been around what, 40 years already now?
78. So, quick maths. Shit. Quick maths. No, slow
Round it
maths.
up to 80.
I haven't got time for rounding up. I didn't come on this podcast to do maths. Fuck off. Back to the asylum with you. You're doing if you want about maths.
Anyway,
Go on with you.
the Halloween franchise is about 40-ish years old at this point. So another 40 years, I could still see like our grandchildren sat watching it on a Halloween night, their first scary film. Like very much how like our parents would have introduced us to the Universal monsters and the Hammer horror.
Yeah.
Much how we were introduced to that by like our grandparents and our parents and our uncles and aunties and things like that. Like them watching it on Halloween, it's like, oh, I watched this when I was a kid. I think we're gonna have that same kind of thing later on down the line that Jason, Freddy, Michael, Leatherface, they're this generation's answer to the Universal monsters.
Oh god, yeah.
They're monsters from horror films that were made 40 years ago that seemed tame by today's standards, but at the time terrified people. Frankenstein, Dracula, Mummy, Wolfman, they did the same thing 20, 30 years before them.
Yeah, we'll just carry on.
Exactly. But not with Sid James or Barbara Windsor.
Cool, blimey.
That's an episode for Tony to cover.
Yeah. Carry on, Michael Myers.
But yeah, so the Halloween franchise, love it or hate it, it's had its ups and downs. It's had some good sequels, it's had some shit ones.
I'll tell you what, though, for a budget of 300 grand.
Oh, yes, that may or may not have been paid for by the mafia.
Yeah.
The debate is still open on that one.
300 grand and it raked in 70 million.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, ching, 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 ching.
The little low budget movie that could.
Oh, bless it. I mean, Jesus Christ. You got to be pretty happy if you're John Carpenter because he had 10% of the profits.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. Although,
and I didn't know until today that he wrote the score.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I think he did.
Hmm.
If you watch the movies that made us episode about Halloween,
Which I wish I had known about. Wish I'd been told about that.
you should have reached into the underworld. We would have supplied you with it. But
I'll reach into
anyway,
your underwood in a minute.
giggity. But
All right.
if
Sorry.
you watch the episode of the movies that made us about Halloween, it does actually go into detail of how John Carpenter was just so passionate in filming literally
Mm,
absolutely everything he could because he had this vision in his head of what he wanted the story to be. He was a perfectionist with it, and I don't blame him, and it shows, especially in the
yeah.
first one. I mean, his involvement got less and less throughout the
Yeah.
years, but that music was always there, whether it was slightly changed, modernized, played on guitar at one point, I think.
Yeah.
It was always there. His imprints were always there with it.
Yeah, I do
Good
like his
old
use
word.
of odd time signatures. Instead of sticking just a 4/4, he's using 5/4 and 12/8 and things like that. So it throws you. It's that, it'll throw you off.
Just that always gets me. I hear that near Halloween, and that makes me feel
Mm,
like it is Halloween, like the
yeah.
season, not the film.
Yeah, because that's the problem. If you put 4/4 music in a horror film, you're grooving to it, and you can't
Catches
really.
you off guard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can't be there going like, yeah, he's killed.
Although you could go full tilt and do the disco intro of Friday the 13th Part 3.
Yeah, true.
But right, I think now we'll quickly discuss, or try to discuss,
Mm.
the multiple timelines of the Halloween franchise. Now, from my understanding of it, and I followed these films quite closely up until the more recent ones where I just kind of went, nope.
Mm.
I've kind of lost interest in Michael. We know it's
Mm.
just going to be a rehash of previous ideas. Anyway, carry on. You've got in the current ideology timeline, you've got Halloween 78. Then you've got Halloween, which was 2016.
Yes, I think so.
Anyway, then you have Halloween Kills
Yep.
and Halloween Ends.
I wish you fucking would at this rate.
Yeah, I think everybody does at this point, guy. I think it's okay. That's the current timeline, but in the
Mm.
original, in release kind of order, because they did follow on from each other for a while,
Mm.
you've got 1 and 2.
Yep.
Then 3 is kind of
Oh, it's Season of the Witch.
yeah, it's kind of not
Mm.
connected to the universe, but it is because the thing that throws fans off is some fans try to say, oh, it's just in a different part of the country when Michael's not there. But if that's the case, then why is there a film? Why is there an advert within the film for Halloween?
Yeah, yeah.
That clearly states that the Halloween franchise in that reality is a film. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So technically, it goes 1, 2, 4, which see if I can remember these is the return of Michael. No, the revenge of Michael Myers.
Mm.
No, the return. It's either return or revenge. See, even I'm confused here. Then you've got 5, which is another subtitled one, but it's
Yeah.
literally a direct follow on from the last one.
Ooh. Excuse me.
Careful.
Sorry.
Then we've got number 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Again, this kind of suffered almost the same fate as Alien, where there's 2 different cuts of the film.
Mm.
Of the film they didn't release, which is known as the producer's cut, not the director's cut, apparently is better than what was theatrically released. But considering what was theatrically released was a dumpster fire,
Mm.
that doesn't really say much.
Someone hit the turd polish button there.
Yeah. Then we get to Halloween H2O, which essentially cancels out 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then you get Resurrections, which I can only remember any of it for Busta Rhymes kicking in a door and saying "trick or treat, motherfucker" to Michael Myers.
Cool.
And at the beginning of the film, literally before the pre-title sequence, Michael kills Laurie in Resurrection. Spoiler alert for a shit film that you're never going to watch.
Cool. Okay. Don't need to watch it now.
No, you really fucking don't.
I've got more important things to do.
And then we have the Rob Zombie films, which are their own thing.
Right.
The first one, although it's your typical Rob Zombie film where they throw in the sort of scenes that will pop up in a horror film, but aren't necessary in a horror film. If you've seen it, you know the scene I'm talking about. And the first one's okay. Malcolm McDowell plays a good Sam Loomis.
Malcolm McDowell could play a good anything.
He could play a good telephone. He could play a good telephone book.
Yeah.
He could play a good artificial intelligence. Oh wait, he did that in Fallout 3.
Yes, he did.
But getting off track. But yeah, that kind of brings us up to date because apparently there are plans to do more Halloween films, but at this point,
why?
Really shouldn't. Sorry, that's my phone, and my phone going off. But, yeah, I mean, I don't think they should do any more films.
No, I don't. Because it's going up his own arse.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I absolutely love Jamie Lee Curtis every time she steps.
God, I love Jamie Lee Curtis.
Every time she steps into the role of Laurie Strode, whether it was in the first two, H2O, Resurrections, and the new ones, every time she steps into that character's shoes, she's perfection.
Yeah, and it was the first film.
Well, I think she's about the only reason why I want to watch the new ones, because I want to see more of her. I've seen like a good chunk of the first one, the one that's just called Halloween. And I've seen like 5 minutes of Halloween Kills. And the bits with Laurie, it's like, yeah. You know, Jamie Lee Curtis, when she's on screen, she owns that character. And she's now retired the character. I don't blame her.
No, I don't.
No, God bless her. She's not getting any younger. None of us are.
No, actually, screw Halloween. Let's go watch Trading Places. Wow.
True Lies, one of my favorite films with her. That dance scene in the bedroom makes Arnold drop his voice recorder.
No, you're thinking of True Lies. Trading Places is where she gets a pap out. It's got Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd in it.
Yeah, that's what I said. I like True Lies.
Oh, right, sorry.
I did say that one.
I thought you
but
were.
Yeah, Trading Places is good as well.
There's a couple of parts in that I really love.
Halloween franchise. We'll wrap this up now because we've pretty much said all we can say about it. I mean, okay, we'll quickly run over a few memorable scenes from a couple of the films. One that I think has kind of almost come into... It can kind of be a meme at this point when you're playing video games. Bit where Loomis is running around shouting, "I shot him 6 times!" Like, just the start of Halloween 2. I reckon they must have just recorded that and had it on an audio loop going around, pressing it, right, shouting it all the time. Because it sounds like the exact same audio clip, just repeated.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me.
Hey, would not surprise me. Why not?
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Oh, hold on. Oh, sorry, I'm burpy tonight.
That's all right. It's
sorry, everybody.
Windy night tonight, people.
It is. It's windy out there.
Chicago, the windy city.
Yeah,
we're not. Looks like my place. We don't have that kind of budget. We have no budget. But yeah, that was one of my favorite memorable scenes. The one thing I always point out as well, and I think it's just a cool little tweak, like not tweak, quirk of the character. In the first one, where he pins the guy to the wall with the knife.
Yeah.
And he just does that subtle.
The head tilt.
Yeah, like he's admiring his work. And then they kind of pay homage to that scene in one of the other Halloween films where he pins somebody to a door with a shotgun. And crappy sequels, but fairly memorable.
You noticed Arnie does it a lot in the Terminator films as well. If he's nicked it from that.
Yeah, when he doesn't understand something, there's a subtle head tilt. And Predator does it as well, especially in the second film.
Yeah,
a lot of when they're
That's the
figuring
thing.
shit
Well,
out.
that's the thing. I mean, if you think about it, Halloween pretty much invented first-person shooter video games.
To a point, yeah. To a point. Do you know what? I would actually really love to see a Halloween-based video game, much like the Friday the 13th game, where you play as Michael,
Mm.
and it's all. I mean, I know Dead by Daylight is out there, and you can play as Michael Myers in that. It's not the same. I mean, an
No,
actual, like you play as Michael, and then you play through the events of each film.
yeah, no, having the skin of Michael Myers is not the same as a Halloween game.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, the Friday the 13th game, I've recently been replaying that with friends. You can't join public games anymore, but you can have private ones on Xbox.
Oh yeah,
So we've been playing that just recently, and I forgot how fun it was. Sorry, tangent alert here,
mm.
but it does connect to what we're saying. I actually did forget how fun it can be when it's just you and a group of friends
Mm.
panicking, trying to run away from Jason and start a car and put a battery in it and get some fuel going and
Yeah.
just trying to avoid the fucker. I'd love to see a Halloween game done in that kind of vein, but have a single player component where you play through the events of each film, and your objective at the end of each one is to get the final girl.
Yeah.
I think that would be a neat little thing. But whether or not it happens, it's out there. It's out there in the universe. I've mentioned it. Maybe it'll happen.
Well, that's it. You never know.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much all we can now say. Quick!
As usual, I have trivia.
Oh, trivia!
Yes, I have trivia.
Trivia.
Michael's
What
mask.
trivia?
Michael's mask. It was made from a fucking William Shatner Captain Kirk mask.
Yeah. They from what
I love that.
From what I can remember about it, and again,
They
movies that made us.
stretched it.
Movies that made this. Thank you for this information. I do know this story. They were looking for a mask and they couldn't decide between one or the other, so they tried both. One was a Captain Kirk mask, and they bleached the hair. They dyed the hair brown.
Yeah, they
Painted the mask
bleached it
white.
white.
Cut the eye hole slightly bigger, and shaved the eyebrows off.
Mm.
And
That's brilliant. That's a great crossover.
oh,
Michael's log.
Kirk versus Myers.
Michael's log. I stabbed that son of a bitch. I stabbed him again and again and again.
Captain's log day 100, 237. I just stabbed Spock 37 times in the chest.
I still keep trying to kill Laurie Strode.
Do you know what, right? Ultimate punishment for these slasher villains. Send them to the Star Trek universe. Stick them in a holodeck with the safety protocols on.
No, off.
No, put them all on, because if you want to torment the poor bastards, they're going to come at you with an axe and just be like, why
Oh
are
yeah,
you?
that's true. Yeah.
Get them really frustrated, and then you switch all the safety protocols off.
Mm.
Or just send your mates in there that you don't like. Go and feed Michael.
Yeah. You with the red shirt, off you go.
You, red shirt, nothing bad's ever going to happen to you. Here, take this bucket of chicken to Michael.
Yeah. All the rest of the bridge crew, nah, you stay.
But yes, as I was saying, I think now it is time for us to say night to the Halloween franchise. As much as we love it, I think it's done to death. Sorry.
Yeah, it is. It is. Fuck's sake, pick a lane.
Pick a
I said
timeline.
last week, yeah, pick a timeline, pick a lane. As I said last week, people fucking pick a lane.
Yes.
That's my new saying. I think that's my new saying for the show.
Pick a fucking lane.
Yeah, pick a fucking lane, bitches.
Yes, definitely. But we shall see you next week.
We shall.
Mwah. I have been Miss Violet Impulse, the queen of the underworld.
And I've been JB, just a fat chancer on the scrounge.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But that's why we like you.
Fucking right.
Anyway, bye everyone. Mwah.
See you later. Bye bye.
We have such sights to show you.
Get away from her, you bitch!
What a plonker!
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.